At long last, my girlfriend is returning to another Souls game. And what's even more exciting is that it's the long anticipated Elden Ring. Not only have I been anxiously anticipating the release of the next addition to one of my favorite series of games, but I've been holding my breath that little bit extra for watching my girlfriend tackle it as well.
Love me a good Souls door opening.
This game may have broken her though, or at the very minimum, our lifestyle. Aside from collaterally tearing open the wounds left behind by Season 8 of Game of Thrones, the massive scale of the game has dominated all the other things we used to do together. All our free time gets poured into the lands between, which sounds good on paper, but people are starting to wonder if we're still alive.
You are maidenless.
I am a maiden!
In a lot of ways, this game felt like an exam to test how much she's learned. And it turns out, I learned some stuff along the way too. Like I mentioned, this episode is a little more unique from our previous Souls adventures because for the first time ever, we're going into the game as beginners together. I was curious how this might change things up, and more importantly, how long it would take to leave her in the dust. But I know now those were the speculations of a sweet summer child. As it turns out, almost the second the game started, our paths diverged immediately, which is to say, I already was 2 bosses deep before she even made it out of character creation.
So does chest mean like width or boobs?
I know this is a joke I make almost every time she cracks open a Souls game, but Elden Ring really went above and beyond with its character customization. Something you might not know about Girl is that when she's not playing these games I suggest, she's doing either one of 2 things with her spare time. Painting her nails or playing The Sims. And I don't mean actually playing The Sims, I mean just designing them. Well, you might find it amusing that since its release, Elden Ring has completely usurped The Sims as her go-to character creator. I mean, I'll take any excuse to stop throwing money at EA for stuff packs on Valentine's Day, and besides, I think I actually prefer the version of me she designed than the one I made myself.
Did you max my body hair?
Yeah! I mean, like, you're not super hairy, but you're hairier than this!
He looks like he just got waxed. Like, if that's 255, I'm probably in the neighborhood of like 700.
Oh my god.
I said it in Bloodborne, but I'll say it again here. I have some serious questions about what my girlfriend finds cute. Some things are reasonable enough and I can understand. Like those little pots are fine. Go ahead and crochet a plushie of one.
I just can't even. Look at him running. Ah!
But on the other hand, there's stuff like this.
He's trying to attack me. Aw, these guys are cute. Ah! The puppies are attacking me.
My girlfriend doesn't play these games like we do. For us, we'll attempt a boss the first time, get completely smacked up, and improve a little bit each subsequent attempt. For her, the second best attempt is always the first one. This is followed by her barely leaving a scratch on the boss for a dozen tries, before finally having one where she wins. Impatience really is the real challenge for her.
I don't even care, I'm going in. Ah! Oh my god, are you seeing this? Holy shit. Oh, that was awesome.
It's becoming more and more of a chore to gauge the difficulty of these games because as we keep having her play them, she keeps getting gooder and gooder. She wasn't by any means steamrolling the game, but she didn't get stuck a lot either. I think she hit a really good balance of fun to frustration ratio, at least until the late game bosses.
God, how do I get through all that without taking damage?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
The difficulty's kinda all over the map, no pun intended, but I can say from experience, one minute you'll be one-shotting everything in your path, and the next you'll be barely putting a dent in the boss's health bar.
This guy's got a lot of health.
One thing that really lends itself to her playstyle is the open world. It lets her walk away from something challenging and come back to it later. In previous titles, when you were stuck on a hard boss, you kinda just had to muscle through and get it done. It might be important to mention this is exactly how I handled Elden Ring. I'd stumble into a challenging boss and just decide to buckle down, learn the pattern, and overcome it. I mean, come on, it's only a matter of time before someone beats this guy at level 1 with his bare fist using a banana as a controller, right? Surely I can do it with my current setup. Ironically, my girlfriend may have had the better experience because of her approach.
Let me do it. Let me get it. Ah, no, let me get it. Thank God I made it. Oh my God.
I remember mentally prepping myself for the onslaught of expletives that were surely coming when she got to the first boss because of how much trouble I had. She'd already done a ton of exploring because she bypassed the castle by mistake and was completely decked out though.
Volcano Smo!
Turns out having twice as many flasks and a weapon higher than +1 made a pretty big difference.
Going in, boys. Eee! What? I really thought I had him with that wheel.
This was her first time experiencing the message appraisal features of a Souls game to their full extent. For a long time now, she's only ever known them for telling her about fake invisible walls or amazing chests ahead, which I guess is kind of the same in Elden Ring.
Dog? Dog.
What type of dog is this? This is a tortoise.
The catch is this was her first time getting to write them for herself. All it took was getting the first dopamine hit from an appraisal and she was completely hooked.
Yeah. My message was appraised.
They love me.
In the late game, it sometimes felt like the message appraisals were the only thing bringing her back every time she rage quit.
Oh my God. Fuck this boss. Thank you, stranger. You've empowered me with the courage to keep trying.
The horse is her favorite addition in this game, and may have single-handedly dethroned Bloodborne in her eyes. Personally, I was a little apprehensive about fighting on horseback. It was probably a lot of things, but it mostly comes down to just not wanting to deal with change.
Oh no. I died!
Rather than learn to fight on the pony, I thought it'd just be easier to fight on foot. I stuck to mostly using it to get around from place to place, but my girlfriend, on the other hand, handled things in a completely opposite manner. She wanted to exclusively ride the horse and preferred doing all her fighting while mounted.
Torn's amazing. Like, I don't even think stamina bar is like a thing anymore.
Well, she went and opened my eyes to how good the horse combat was, and I have since changed my attitude and feelings about it. I will admit though, there are just as many situations where you may want to be on foot than on horseback, and it's probably best to have a good balance between the two, especially since things can get really dizzy.
Oh my God, I'm getting a little dizzy.
When we were both still learning the controls, neither of us knew you could swing left while mounted, and I must have heard her complain about it 100 times.
I wish I could switch hands.
I can't turn left.
In many ways, watching her play Elden Ring made me appreciate a lot of things about the other games in the series that I think I'd taken for granted. The structure of the traditional Souls games turned out to be much more ideal for the girlfriend in the long run because getting overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the world was the hardest enemy she squared off with. As long as it took her to play, it's still crazy to me how much she missed out on. With that being said, it was really fun to see how she tackled the world compared to myself.
This guy looks like he's been backstabbed before.
It was especially cool that she discovered things I didn't even know about. I would have completely missed the volcano manor if she hadn't found it because I didn't even know it existed.
I don't want to walk on that. After taking your bridge out of the oven, let it cool for approximately 45 minutes before stepping on it.
My girlfriend has been a die-hard strength user from the very beginning of her Souls journey. She hasn't hidden her feelings about dex weapons in that time either. It was pretty much the same story in Elden Ring until she found this thing.
Oh, finally. Woo! Whoop, whoop. Ooh. Wheel. Don't tell anyone I leveled Dex.
Oops. I don't think anyone's gonna hold it against her though. I mean, come on, it's a pizza cutter.
Pizza, bitch.
There were a couple of really brutal bosses for her in this game. She's gotten hung up on difficult bosses in past Souls titles and spent evenings ranting to me about how an attack was unfair, that something was complete BS, but in Elden Ring, she went full tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist on me. She was convinced that some of the bosses are just programmed to wait until the moment you sip a flask and then attack.
See, every time I sip, he shoots fire at me. What am I supposed to do?
Last time I checked, she wasn't a programmer, but it was sort of expected for her to react like this. She always goes through the same stages of Dark Souls grief, starting with denying that she'd ever be able to beat something, followed by anger, accusing it of being unfair.
Of course I want to get back on my horse. He just knocked me off. Fuck.
She bargains, maybe she needs a level her weapon, and after a few more depressing attempts, there's the acceptance that fair or not, you still gotta beat him.
Woo! Fuck yeah! Oh my god.
Another cool thing was this was the first game we engaged in jolly cooperation together. I didn't help her with the bosses, which, if I'm honest, I think I would have been more of a hindrance than a help. But instead, we just ran around the open world, role-playing and acting dumb.
This is so many ladders. You know what this reminds me of?
Bloodborne.
Oh, yes.
Also known as Elden Ring Date Night.
Uh-oh. Well, good luck with this nightmare.
I might go out on a limb and say Elden Ring may be one of the most fun Souls games for co-op, because there's just so much you can explore and do together. In Elden Ring, the sky's the limit.
Okay, your lady just walked into space?
It does come with one glaring flaw though, at least in my girlfriend's eyes.
No! I wanted to ride horses. I wanted to ride horses through the sunset with you.
Oh, I see it. There it is.
Yeah! Filthy casuals in your area. Oh, love me a boy with poise.
Go see what's down there. There's a bunch of shinies and stuff down there.
Shinies!
Yeah, go get the shinies.
Why do I think this is a boss arena? Oh my god, I almost just died.
Oh, we've been invaded.
Oh shit.
Okay, hold
What's
up.
my damage like? Oh, I see them over there.
This is like a dude. There he is.
Well, I'm a lady. Like an actual dude?
Yeah.
Dude, we're just... Oh. Dude, we're just trying to have a date.
Come over here, this will be funny.
Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I don't know. Oh!
Nope, he has started. I was trying to do a message. Ah! Okay, we're gonna 2v.
Oh, shit.
I died.
I got backstabbed.
I also should add that because I'm cruel, I decided now was a better time than ever to introduce her to the wonderful, backstabbing, roll-catching, and down-pointing world of Souls PvP.
Oh my god! You cheeky bastard! No! I was doing my pizza cutter move! You better have a sword in there.
Ow.
Oh my god. There he is. He's so confused. I think that is a build. Important. He is a fiery.
Oh, I almost got him, Taryn. Get him, go get him, go get him. He's so weak.
No! I hope he bows. Oh, he's bowing! Ah!
What's up? Me and my girlfriend saw you across the room. We heard you like strength builds. Holy shit, this guy's so slippery. I'm gonna come up behind him. Got him.
Nice.
At the beginning of this video, I said that this game felt like an exam. When we both sat down on launch day, I had my doubts about her getting to the end of the game. It was a rocky month or so, and she kept getting so close.
Woo! I did it! Oh! Are you kidding me? You're fucking kidding me. Oh my god. Is that cause? Or some say causum. Oh my god, I'm going insane. Okay, here we go. We're doing this. I got no flasks, no maidens, no problem. Ah! This is beautiful and horrifying. Oh shit. How did I not get hit? No! Come on! Where the hell are you going? The stupid salamander keeps running away from me.
I'm not kidding you when I tell you that for weeks, this is literally all I listened to.
Oh fuck.
I went completely hollow.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god, he's dead for real now! Oh. Okay, it's real. I was half expecting another health bar.
She's claimed the title Elden Lord, and boy is she excited about it. Don't worry, there'll be more souls in her future. But for now, I think I'm the one that could use the break. I hate to admit it, but Elden Ring may have stolen her heart. And it would appear I am maidenless.